For this edition of AAM Media Matters, I'd like to welcome John Capano, Managing Director of the Ev&Ex Agency and Executive Director of the Automotive Experience Alliance, a coalition of auto shows that work together to define and promote standard processes and practices in the automotive experience industry. AEA recently completed its first network audit of its member auto shows by AAM, which is a first of its kind in the industry. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here.
Why was it important for AEA to conduct a network-wide audit across all of its member auto shows?
Third-party audit attendance is one of our core methodologies and one of the first things we implemented. Historically in the auto show industry, auto shows self-reported their attendance. And of course, most shows, I'm sure, were very accurate, but the exhibitors never had a third-party source for audited specific information and demographic information. We felt that that was really important for the overall transparency within the industry.
What does third-party verification of attendance data mean for your members?
Well, it really is about transparency and ultimately monetization. Exhibitors, which are usually automotive OEMs or other interested parties like insurance companies and the such, come to the shows to reach consumers. And the shows themselves are usually very dynamic, but there was no kind of attributable number to attendance. These shows would share based on ticket sales, but there was never a through the gate number. And so it was really important for our exhibitors to know exactly what they're purchasing when they do work with one of our member auto shows. And the audit enables that, not only from the perspective of what the number is, but also the other work we do for demographics and other different data collection we now do in concert across all of our members.
How do exhibitors and sponsors benefit from having audited attendance data?
In the marketplace, marketing dollars, there's an infinite amount of places that our exhibitors can put their marketing dollars. And ultimately, we're one of those channels. And so when we're competing against very data-heavy channels, such as online or other forms of media, it's very important for us to be able to show an ROI and a kind of a transparent reach or attendance number so that our exhibitors can do the analysis that they need to do in order to justify the media purchase.
How do you see this first of its kind audit setting a precedent for other event organizers in the automotive or broader events industry?
It clearly is important to be audited. I'm a firm believer in that transparency, and self-reported numbers are fine, but they're not as valid and as firm as an audited number, obviously. And so to us in the automotive space, being the first to push into this, it was really important. So to be able to standardize that methodology and then be able to kind of speak with one voice to the overall number as well as the methodology for each individual show, I think is a really important precedent to have set. And we're hoping to see more and more of that as other verticals or industries kind of adopt this methodology.
What advice would you give to other associations or event organizers considering an independent audit?
Well, first one is definitely speak to AAM. I'm a big fan, having gone through the last 2 seasons with you guys. But also, just speak again to the importance of a standardized process, a published process, so that transparency is not only in the kind of the validity is not only in the number that's ultimately released, but also in how we arrived at the number. That was a very important part of our effort, is to work with the exhibitors and the OEMs to standardize that methodology to something they could really understand and get their head around, so that they knew it was valid, and they knew at the end of the period when we did deliver a number or one of our members delivers the numbers, it's a valid number. And so standardizing that, working across events, across shows, employing best practices, picking a really researched third-party partner as we did with you, all really important part of the process.
Thanks, John, for sharing your insights with AAM today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.